Hello, gals and ghouls. Happy October. October is a wonderful month. Fall is in full swing. The leaves are falling. There's that eerie feeling in the air that tells us Halloween is coming. With that being said, I want to talk to you all about the things that go bump in the night, the things that make the hair on the back of your neck stand up straight, and the things that send a chill down your spine. Join me, Morbid Mildred, a Halloween and monster expert, as we talk about this week's terrifying monster, the werewolf. So what exactly is a werewolf? A werewolf is a human that morphs into a vicious, powerful wolf whenever there is a full moon in sight. When a werewolf is in its human form, there is no way to tell that he or she is one. He could be a werewolf, and she could be one too. There's no way to tell just by looking. By day, a werewolf acts and looks like a normal human being. A werewolf could be your teacher, your neighbor, or even your best friend. Being around a werewolf in human form is not dangerous, but as soon as you see the full moon in the sky, you better stay as far away as possible. But what does a werewolf look like? How do you know that it's not just a normal wolf? Well, a werewolf, once a full moon is in view, will start to look and feel quite sick. It will start to sweat, grow weak, and collapse to the ground. There's no stopping the transformation now. Long brown, gray, or black hair will cover its entire body, growing at rapid speed. Its human hair will begin to grow and blend into the hair that is now covering its entire body. Next, the teeth are beginning to change. The teeth are growing longer and becoming razor sharp. Now, the fingernails are beginning to change as well. They are growing long and sharp too. Now the werewolf will stand up on 2 feet. As it stands, superhuman strength is overcoming it. Once the werewolf is standing, the transformation is complete. It is no longer thinking like a human. It is now thinking like a hungry, bloodthirsty wolf. It will not be able to resist attacking anyone in sight. Yikes. That does not sound like a good time at all. How do we stop these vicious monsters? A werewolf can only be destroyed by silver bullets. I know what you're thinking. A tiny bullet to take down a massive, powerful werewolf? And the answer is yes. Not only will silver bullets take down this monster, but any silver object that pierces the werewolf's skin will. The werewolf is extremely sensitive to silver. When a werewolf dies, it turns back into its human form, never to become a werewolf again. So you might actually be doing it a favor. Okay, now we know what a werewolf is and how to destroy it. But how in the world would a human become a werewolf in the first place? There are actually several ways that a human can become a werewolf. 1. If you get bitten by a werewolf, then you become a werewolf. 2. Being a werewolf is genetic. If you're from a family of werewolves, then huge chance that you are a werewolf too. 3. You could be cursed into becoming a werewolf by the use of black magic. 4. Finally, it has been said that if you drink rainwater out of the footprint of a werewolf, that you would become one too. So now that we are all pretty confident that we are not werewolves, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some fun werewolf facts. Back in the 1760s, France was experiencing a werewolf epidemic. Legend has it that over 100 people were devoured by these rampant werewolves. This epidemic grew so out of control that the army was called in to get rid of the problem. These so-called werewolves were described as wolf-like, but bigger. Could these have been actual werewolves? Or was it just another unfamiliar type of animal wreaking havoc on the country? Now, let's say you are indeed a werewolf, or suspect that you might be one. The disease you are afflicted with is called lycanthropy. This name comes from the word lycanthrope, which means wolf person. I mean, the symptoms are pretty obvious. If you don't remember turning into a werewolf, I'm sure your friends will tell you about it the night you tried to attack them under the moonlight. Now, the big question is, are werewolves real? Well, my friends, that is for you to decide. take a look outside during the next full moon. Listen carefully. Do you hear a faint howling in the distance? If you do, you better run. I forgot to mention that werewolves are abnormally fast creatures. Well, that's all I have for you gals and ghouls on this episode of Meet the Monsters. Tune in next week where we discuss another fantastic monster. Until next time, happy haunting.